Hello, I'm Dr. Vanita Rattan and this channel is dedicated to skincare for skin of colour. As you know, I'm a doctor, but I'm also a cosmetic formulator specifically for skin of colour. Now, today's video is a very important one and I've been asked to make it so many times, and it's about how to treat pitted scarring. Now, the reason why I think this is a very important topic is because there are quite a few things that we can do, but there's also a lot of things that you wouldn't want to do on skin of colour, even though they may be good for pitted scarring. And so I thought this was an important video to make. The reason I say this is that if you are too harsh and you cause too much inflammation in skin of colour, we trigger our melanocytes and we get more hyperpigmentation. This often is actually more distressing than the actual scar itself. So if that sounds good to you, please give me a thumbs up. Let's dive right in. So what are these pitted scars? So these are the remnants of severe acne. They tend to be pustular acne with cysts, and these take place at the base of the hair follicle. Now, when this ruptures, there's a sudden loss of collagen, and that's when you see that big dip. There are three main types of pitted scarring. Now, the most severe one is ice pick scarring, and because it's the deepest, it tends to be more narrow and it tends to be deeper. You have box scars as well, which they tend to be shallower, they're broader, they tend to have defined edges. So for example, after chickenpox, that's the most classic type. Then you also get rolling scars. So rolling scars take place, they're like box scars, but basically they have more of a sloped edge. So the appearance of the skin is uneven texture. So those are rolling scars. So what are your treatment options? Well, first of all, start off with epidermal exfoliation, and that's really going to help more for any discoloration. So don't forget, if you've had scarring from acne, it's likely you're going to have some PIH, post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. So what I would recommend, of course, is your classic 2% BHA or salicylic acid plus lactic acid. And I love about 5% up to 7%. And you would do this to unclog the pore and also just to remove that top layer of skin so that you just have fresher, juicier, more clear skin coming to the surface. You want to also incorporate a vitamin A into your skincare routine. So that will increase your cell turnover, which means you have younger, healthier skin coming to the surface faster. But over a longer period of time, it's thought to also improve your collagen production. The other ingredient I love is your fat-soluble vitamin C. So that's your tetrahexyl dicaloscorbate, because that also helps to mop up any free radicals in your dermis and also help to boost collagen, which are all things that we love. Because don't forget, the problem here is loss of collagen acutely in a localized area. The other treatment that is very good for this is microneedling. So I know a lot of you have asked me about microneedling, and if you want, I can make you another video specifically on safe microneedling at home and which ones you want to avoid and only do in clinic. If that sounds good to you, can you write down microneedling below, just so I know that is definitely something that you want to see. Okay, so with microneedling, I would use about 0.5 millimeter on this just to penetrate into the dermis so that you're causing micro injury, but controlled micro injury into the skin, and also you are allowing the actives to penetrate. So later on, I'll tell you my specific product suggestions and how I would do it. But microneedling is something that is going to benefit anyone with pitted scarring, and it's great for skin of color if done correctly. Now, when it comes to professional grade treatments, there are a couple that you can do. My favorite would probably be filler, so hyaluronic acid. And it works best in a specific area. So for example, if you have ice pick scarring and it's very localized, you're probably going to see better results than rolling scars. So that's something that you can think about, but also it only lasts approximately a year. So that's important to know as well. And the other one that we discuss is Roaccutane. Today I actually made a video on Roaccutane, so you will be able to watch that video if that's something that you also are interested in. And that also helps with scars after acne, not just the acne itself. Okay, so with professional grade treatments, the one I would take care with is Fraxel laser. So Fraxel laser tends to have, there are two options, ablative or non-ablative. You would never use ablative for skin of color because it can trigger the melanocytes. Non-ablative is a much better option because it keeps the surface intact. However, you still want to take care, but definitely avoid the ablative Fraxel laser for skin of color. The other things to take care of are microdermabrasion or mid-depth to deep peels, because again, you don't want to trigger your melanocytes and get PIH, post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. With us, we have to just be so careful because there's no point us spending money and time on something that's actually just going to make the situation worse. It's better not to do anything at all. So those are things to take care of. And also it's important to avoid any ingredients that can trigger any sensitivity of the skin. So the key ones being alcohol, denatured alcohol, or essential oils for exactly the same reason. So you don't want to trigger free radicals, which then damage your collagen. We're trying to do the exact opposite thing. Okay, so the step-by-step routine, I would start off with your CeraVe SA, so your salicylic acid wash. If your issue is still oily, acne-prone skin, then move on to 2 nights a week. I would use your lactic acid. So I really like the 5% lactic acid from The Ordinary. Every night, I would use Paula's Choice Antioxidant Serum with a 0.5mm derma roller, because what you want to do is to basically get the actives penetrated down into the dermis. And there are ingredients in there, including your tetrahexyl decaloscorbate, to stimulate collagen production. With derma rolling, you also want to take care, you're looking at doing that maybe once a week. I wouldn't try and overdo it, but you can apply your serum every night. You may also want to incorporate 0.5% retinol into your skincare routine. The one that I love again is from The Ordinary. I also believe that there's a 0.3% retinol from Paula's Choice, which I love as well. So those are really your key actives that you want to use. And I think just avoid the things that are going to damage the skin, sensitize the skin, or lead to any loss of collagen. Right, so we've been through quite a lot. I really hope today was helpful. If you wanted me to go into any more detail on anything I've discussed, can you please write it down below? It's the first time we've talked about ice pick scars, etc. So I hope I've covered everything that you want, but if there's any other product suggestions, etc., can you write them down below? Don't forget to download your free guide. The link is down below specifically for skin of color. Please do follow me on Instagram at the Hyperpigmentation Clinic and Skincare by Dr. V, and on TikTok at Dr. Vanita Rattan. Thank you very much for listening.